Hi, my name is Jean King, and I'm one of the adult reference librarians at the West Hempstead Public Library. In this video, I'll give an introduction to Ancestry.com Library Edition and show examples of the different record collections they have available. To get started, we go to the library homepage at www.whplibrary.org and click on eResearch. From here, we go down to the Genealogy tab, and Ancestry Library Edition is the first item listed. Normally, it's only available in the library, but during the pandemic, Ancestry has agreed to provide remote access to patrons through the end of April. Just click on the link here and put in your library card. This will take us to the Ancestry Library Edition homepage. As you can see at the top, we have Search, Message Boards, Learning Center, Charts and Forms, and New Collections. Today, we're going to click on the Search tab and click All Categories. For my examples today, I'm using the last name of my paternal grandfather. Because it's such an unusual last name, when I get results, I know that almost all of these people will be my relatives. When we get our results, you can see on the categories on the left, we have census and voter lists, birth, marriage, and death records, military records, immigration and travel records, schools, directories, and church histories, wills, probates, land, tax, and criminal records, and family trees. We'll start with the census and voter lists. In the results, you can see the decades of the census records that we have in our search results. We can take a look at a 1940 census record. And with the results, you can see that Ancestry has highlighted the people that you're looking for. This is my grandparents with my mother, my uncle, and my aunt living in Brooklyn in 1940. You can see here that my grandfather was a brokerage salesman. When we scroll down, we can also find New York State census records. We can click on this one for my grandfather. In 1925, he was living in the town of Islip, but you can see that there is no highlighted results as there were in the federal census records. But here are my great-grandparents, my grandfather and his brother and sister living in Islip, and my great-grandfather was working as a broker, and here it shows that he was naturalized in 1901 in New York City. When we go to the birth, marriage, and death category, you can see that the results are divided up into births, marriages, and deaths. If we click on the birth records, I can see birth records for my cousins who live in Minnesota. And if I go to the next page, I can see the birth index for my aunt and my uncle and some other relatives who were born in New York City. If I click on my aunt's record, we can go and see the page where her birth is listed, right here on June 16th. And up here it tells you the year and the borough that you're looking at. When we click on marriage and divorce records, we can see results for the marriage license indexes, and also again I have Minnesota results, and here is the result for my parents on June 11th, 1955, and they were married in the town of Hempstead. And of course, I'm looking for them and I can't find them on this page. That's just the way things go sometimes. Okay, and for death records, you can see that some of the results are from an obituary index collection from the Social Security Death Index. And I even have results from the Florida Death Index for some of my relatives. If we click on a Social Security Death Index record, you can see that it gives the birth date for my great aunt as well as a month and year of her death. When we go to military records, we have several different categories. We have World War II draft registration cards, World War I draft registration cards, and a newer collection called World War II draft cards for young men. If we take a look at an item in this newer collection, when you scroll to the top, you can see that these cards were created for men who were born on or after February 17, 1897, and on or before December 31st, 1921. And the World War II draft registration cards were for men who were born on or after April 28, 1877, and on or before February 16, 1897. And I also have an example of a World War I draft registration card for my great uncle. And here it gives you his home address, his birth date, what his occupation was, and his nearest relative, who was his mother. Going to immigration and travel records, this is where you would find passenger lists, border crossings and passports, and citizenship and naturalization records. We can take a look at one of the naturalization records for a great-great-uncle. And here you can see the court he was naturalized in, his occupation, his date of naturalization. We can also take a look at a passport application for one of my relatives because my relatives did travel frequently, and I'm lucky to be able to see passport records for them. Here is one for my great-grandfather, and it gives on his application the name of his wife and also his 4 children, their birth dates, where he was born, his birth date, and when he arrived in the United States. In the schools, directories, and church histories results, many of the results for my relatives are the phone directory listings. And also I have found my relatives in school yearbooks. And when you look to the right, you can see what year the yearbook is from. And in the city directories, again, I have a lot of my relatives from Minnesota showing up. And it will give you a year that this city directory is from. Okay, with wills, probates, land, tax, and criminal records, we have some more information from the Social Security Administration Department. We can click on one of these and again find information on a person's birth date, death date, and in this case also listing his parents' names and place of birth. Finally, we have the family tree collection, and you can see from these results that there are private trees and public trees. You can click on the public tree and you can see this person's information and any sources that they've added to their family tree. Private trees are different, and you would have to actually ask permission for the person who's posted a private tree to have access to their information. So if you were wanting to see the information on this person's tree, you would have to click here and send them a message. So this was a quick summary of Ancestry Library Edition and some of the wide variety of records you can find on this website. I hope that it's been helpful to you, and good luck in hunting for your ancestors.